Hello again, everyone. This is Ace Monets, along with the one and only Jade. Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Weekend Recap, where we bring you the good, the bad, and the latest inside news from Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Impact Wrestling, and Friday Night SmackDown. And of course, this is AEW's Double or Nothing weekend. It will be airing tomorrow night on pay-per-view, of course. And if you have the BR Live app, it'll be available there as well. And of course, internationally, it will be on Fight TV. Can't wait for that. And while we're on the subject, yes, it will be official. The Wrestling Weekend Recap crew will be making their live reaction tomorrow night towards AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. This is one that Jade has been waiting for. He wants to... Excuse me. I'm already choked up in the moment. He wants to make sure that this thing goes down as it happens. And quite frankly, I enjoyed Double or Nothing. I want to see this one as well. Now, with the fact that AEW is going to be the first company that goes on live with a crowd, we just witnessed it last night with AEW's Dynamite. Of course, it was on a special edition due to what is going on with the NBA playoffs. Before we begin, let's start with our infamous disclaimer, and that is that everything that we say and state is strictly our opinion, and it does not necessarily reflect the views of the platform that we're on or the wrestling companies that we talk about. And now, don't have a cow, man. So with that said, of course, on tonight's edition, all we are going to address is the highlights of each and every single show. And we are going to review and talk about every single match that's on the card for tomorrow night's AEW's Double or Nothing, which will be live on pay-per-view, also on BR Live, and internationally on Fight TV. So, for Monday Night Raw, we felt that we agreed that the highlight of the night was literally the match between Xavier Woods representing the New Day going up against Matt Riddle, because since RK Bro is coming up strong in the storyline and we feel that there is an instant connection. I mean, they both, Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, they can go heel, they can go babyface as a team. They can go either way because the chemistry is there, and we feel that the New Day is the proper team that can make these guys go a certain route. So with that said, in just a matter of moments, we are gonna go into some audio highlights of what took place this past Monday on Raw with that match. Of course, everything else, there were some things that were somewhat repetitive and others that went in a certain opposite direction, of course. But still, the show was, I guess, okay, but still they got a lot of work to do, especially now that they're going to come on live. So let's jump in to the match between Xavier Woods and Matt Riddle in just a bit, and check out some of the highlights that took place this past Monday. Here we go.
Dangerous part of the ring. Oh, hits by Riddle. Again, that martial arts background of Riddle, but Woods is able to counter. With planning. The apron. Spine first into the edge with Riddle.
And this is their first time going up against each other as well, right?
Yes. Power display from Xavier Woods. My God!
And we haven't seen Xavier Woods be this physical since the last time we could remember. Him being in singles action, of course.
To preserve himself in this match. what a test of wills right now. The endurance of both Xavier Woods and Riddle. This is a fight. Both of these athletes are going to wake up tomorrow and know that they experienced combat. But right now, Woods looking to finish the job. Oh. Slow on the ascent for Xavier Woods. Riddle was able to thwart that and now trying to go on the offensive. And battling it out. Oh, taking each other out in the process. Headbutt, down goes Riddle. Oh. He finds some mark, Xavier Woods. Looking for his side. Oh, gets met by a nasty knee from Riddle. As you said earlier, Byron, the longer the match goes, generally favors Riddle. Oh, look at this. From the outside in. That is it. That is it. And then over here. Oh, it's not it. Woods is showing a lot of moxie. Even Riddle, he's nothing short of astonished. Kidding me. But Riddle now looking for the floating throw. No. Able to adjust midair. Super impressive. Oh. Rolling elbow. Now Riddle's rocked. Oh. Yeah. How in the world is Xavier Woods even going? How is he still fighting? Uh-oh. Woods able to escape yet again.
Oh. That was a shocker right there. He pulled the RKO out of nowhere, man. And look at the eyes in Matt Riddle right there. And then from there, he just goes out of the loop and comes up back to normal. Like he was in a trance, pretty much. With how Xavier Woods was bringing out the best in Riddle. Oh, boy, did he ever. And paid a tribute to his tag team partner right there. That to me was the highlight of the night for sure, amongst other things that took place. And while we're on Raw, and as we change to NXT, of course, the biggest news that happened this week, and we're going to make this short, of course, the new commentator that only lasted for 7 episodes, 6 episodes, whatever, Adnan Virk. Turns out that he came to terms with WWE and they parted ways. Why? In reality, because it was a company decision. It wasn't Adnan Virk's choice. It was a company decision. And I figured he wasn't going to last that long because ever since they won, and like I stated before, this is no knockoff to the guy because he's already had experience calling events on ESPN. He's called baseball. Whatever his long rap sheet of stuff that he has done in the past, he's got it for sports, but for wrestling, this is a whole different atmosphere. It was not his flavor, obviously. So he gave it a try. It did not work out for him. So best wishes to the guy. It was nice knowing you.
All I want to point out is that we don't know for sure what's the situation with Raw because I had hopes for the man who Virk replaced as a lead commentator for Raw. Unfortunately, that threw out the wind because some of you already know that after Virk left WWE, they also released Tom Phillips, and quite frankly, I don't know. That was dumbfounding because I had hopes for Tom Phillips to be back as the lead commentator for Raw, but that also did not happen. So we don't even know what's going to be the direction for Raw from now until God knows for how long. All I can hope for is that internally it does not look as worse as it does. But right now the focus is on how to build the second product and build it up again. That's all I got to say.
Best wishes to Tom Phillips as well. Here I thought he was going to be back on his original spot for Raw. It is not the case. It turns out that coming up this Monday, we're going to see the debut of one Jimmy Smith. Used to call matches for MMA or UFC. Never seen just seen the guy in pictures. Never heard him call actions. I'm going to see if I can dig up some stuff on YouTube with his name and his voice just to get familiarized with him. But that's going to be a whole other atmosphere to touch upon. I don't know what the heck the WWE is doing, but however this is going, it's not going good. But maybe Jimmy Smith could be the man breaking the ice to get something going on for Raw as they will come back to the scene once July strikes as they go back out on the road. We'll see by then. Now moving on to NXT. even though we want to put, once again, with what happened with the $1 million face-off, it is good, but to us, obviously, as funny as it was for some degree and involving LA Knight, that became secondary. But the highlight that actually stole the show for the entire show was definitely the main event, Cross versus Balor 2. It was another great match between them two, even though obviously a lot of commercial cuts and all of that. Maybe not a lot, but some, even though we got to see picture to picture. But nonetheless, this one really took the cake. Even though to me, the first one was good, but I felt that the second kind of superseded it, but it was in the same, I guess, pretty much the same type of feel, same type of action paced and everything. I know they were going a little bit more harder than what they did in the first one, but still, this secondary match, obviously, they displayed a lot of physicality in this match for being the second match for both these guys.
He's focusing on the stomach, focusing on the legs, looking across, almost like a machine, continuing to push through. Referee serving as the distraction there for Finn Balor and immediately back onto that lower spot. And again to the outside, goes Balor Cross, getting a few minutes to maybe recompose himself, to get a few moments of breath back in his lungs for Balor. Turning this on the belly, and Balor now swinging for a time, beating down the champion. Balor against it right on top of Cross. All the way through the big man, carrying Cross in a wall control, hiding under the ring at this point. And Balor's got to get Cross back in the ring and get picked off. Took out Cross. Can Balor make history? Can he become three-time champion? Don't miss a second in a picture-picture break. He is the insurmountable monster of NXT. Cross hoisting up Balor. Where'd Balor get this energy from? Where'd he get that counter from? Cross going for the elbow. Surely would have put Finn Balor away. Finn Balor digging deep, finding the extra reserve of energy that only he is known for. Sling Blade connects. Balor has the big man run, shifting the momentum. It's a gorgeous knot cross all the way to the outside. This is finally the momentum that Finn Balor wanted. He's a two-time NXT champion. This may well be the third. Look at Cross.
That was the pinpoint right there for Balor at the beginning of the game at one point. Even though I kind of wanted him to win, but I felt Cross was going to take it. And then how he landed with that coup de grace, having to miss it.
And now Cross just ramming Finn Balor back into the turnbuckle. And Cross again, relentless, another German suplex turning Balor inside out. Never needs a second opportunity, immediately pouncing on the slightest mistake of Finn Balor. Cross now, methodically trying to pick up Finn Balor. Is now going to be looking for a Saito suplex. Cross counts, and Cross got all of it. That was a sickening landing for Finn Balor, lying high on the back of the neck. Most of the impact on that shoulder. And we know what comes next. Balor said his heart was beating. Cross said the clock was ticking. And the sands of time could be running out on the Prince. Show's outside the ring. Cross just able to kick out. Balor trying to answer right back in again. Looking for the abdominal stretch. And Balor focusing on the midsection. Taking Cross down. Champions down. Breakdown off his feet. Control him easy as you can. Finn Balor keep this locked in. Look at Cross. Look at the champion. Trying to counter. It certainly does. And Cross down. In the back of the challenger. Down on Balor. This could be lights out for Balor right here. Wow. Balor able to slip through. Down on the aggressor. The challenger on top of the champion. This is what it means to be the NXT champion. You gotta be kidding me! Cross! This This referee was so close to throwing this one out. He checked the arm of Karrion Kross. There was nothing until the final moment of the fight. And the eyes of
Balor's rising. Kross rising. Kross to the clothesline. Dropping the challenger. Oh! Right to the back of Balor goes Kross. And again into the back.
Kross just furious that he has not been able to put Finn Balor away.
And look at Kross unloading now on Finn Balor.
That's just reckless.
It's not reckless. It's the definition of Karrion Kross.
This has to be it.
Balor's leading. Balor's face turning red. Finn Balor going to sleep. Kross cinching in.
And still, the NXT champion, Karrion Kross.
An amazing match. Hats off to both of those guys. Yet again, Finn Balor did not tap. He passed out from being in that submission. Both of these men, boy, did they pack wallops on each other back and forth. Finn Balor was dominating one part of the match while Karrion Kross returned fire, and they were going at it back and forth, man. It was done like nobody's business. But now I'm hearing the rumors that supposedly this is it for Finn Balor. A lot of fans are speculating that this could be his end ride for being a part of NXT, and that maybe, just maybe, he could be moving back into the main roster spot, but we don't know where, Raw or SmackDown. I say he should just go to SmackDown, to be honest. If he goes back on Raw, I mean, we already seen him suffer he had a misfortune, obviously, him being the first ever Universal Champion.
Yes.
And it was on Raw that time. This was back like what, 4-5 years ago, I think.
Yes, it was.
And he never even got to defend the championship. He won the championship, but never got to defend it because he had his arm in a sling at that time, and that was unfortunate.
What I didn't like about what Finn Balor is how, again, creatively they had nothing for him. It's like you're talking about one of the most prolific figures in all of the industry, who gave it his all, who has an appeal like who has an appeal like no other. But all of a sudden, regardless of after the whole Universal victory, and of course relinquishing a kind of injury, but after that it was pretty much the company that obviously put him in such over situations. And of course, they had good rivalries. Of course, one of his good rivalries was against Bray Wyatt. But nonetheless, they just had him going, going seesaw like on certain aspects of the creative aspects of the company. That was also why I was not so happy with how Finn Balor was utilized. And yes, him going back to NXT was him going to regain the fire that he had lost. And all I want to point out is now that he's pretty much done with Finn Balor, who's going to be the next person to challenge Karrion Kross? I mean, knowing that this Tuesday is going to be a triple threat match for a number one contendership, and possibly that number one contender will face Karrion Kross at the upcoming In Your House. So pretty much the question is, will it be Johnny Gargano, desperate to get the NXT championship back? Will it be the Bruiserweight who will get a shot? And I'm missing somebody else because there was another man.
Isaiah Swerve Scott. He
Scott.
want to get into the main event picture because he's that confident, he's that brash, he's got Hit Row behind him. He feels that this is his time to unleash himself of who he truly should be as a superstar, and he's worthy enough to be a NXT World Champion. But I want to point out for the record, Finn Balor, he's been out on the shelf for a good number of maybe about a year or two, but he really never returned back to the main roster. He was waiting until I think either his contract expired or the fact that he wanted to jump ship back to NXT, because ever since he was out, he really never appeared back. So he was waiting until he recovered and made his successful return to NXT and make that brand worthy again of being watched while he was at the fort of that third brand. But yeah, Karrion Kross, he's going to be the man with the championship who's got a target on his back, and he don't care. But everybody's stepping up to him, and yeah, we can't wait to see what is going to happen with him on NXT. Now moving on to Impact Wrestling, of course, the whole story with Kenny Omega being the Impact World Champion. There's some contenders, there's some guys that wants to aim at him. Sami Callihan is one of them. Moose already the number one contender for the Impact World Championship. That he will see the champion coming up at the next event, and that will be against All Odds on Impact Plus as well, and that will be coming up shortly, I think in a matter of 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
So while we're at it, what happened this past Thursday, we see Sami Callihan wanting to get at Omega, Moose putting him in check, that he's the number one contender, and there ain't nobody that's going to stop him from getting at Kenny Omega and getting back what they deserve, and that's pretty much the Impact World Championship. But the Good Brothers obviously had to come in and state that that is not going to happen, and what Don Callis did is he booked one heck of a main event that took place this past Thursday, and that is seeing Sami Callihan and Moose team up, if they can coexist, going up against the Good Brothers of the Big LG, Doc Gallows, and one Machine Gun, Carl Anderson. Let's take a listen.
And D'Lo, what do you think about this match in particular? Don Callis put this one together. The Good Brothers, who have been a team for years, been a team, as they like to call it up north, been a team in Japan, and now here against this makeshift duo of Callihan and Moose.
You know, you may not like it, but you have to admire the fact how the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega, have each other's backs. They're there for each other. They will do whatever it takes for them all to be successful.
And right now, Sami Callihan realizing he's in a fight. We saw some great fights last week right here on Access TV with Invicta. We're seeing a battle right now between these two teams.
And then let's the whip together again. Let's see if they got it on the man.
Gallows catches Callihan and Callihan. Is that a jawbreaker of sorts?
Callihan goes to the wrong corner.
You think he needed to go to Moose there?
Yeah, he needed to make that tag right there. Oh, but nice for Sami. Nice elbow, probably took everything he had left. He's got to get over and make that tag. He's been in the ring a long time.
Yeah, can Sami Callihan make the tag to Moose? Will the Big LG get the machine gun back inside? Here comes Moose. Here comes Anderson. And Moose catches Anderson with a throw.
Right, Uranagi right off the bat. Oh, nice headbutt from Moose.
Complete violence and destruction from Moose as he's taking on both Good Brothers here.
Nice uppercut there by LG.
And you know, as Moose, look at that athleticism. And an inbound. And we know that Don Callis is concerned about Sami Callihan, but Callis and Omega need to be concerned about Moose.
Oh.
He's the next in line to challenge for the championship.
Sami Callihan tagged in when Moose was ready to give the spear.
Sami tagged in.
Moose is going to hit the lights out.
Yeah, Moose was
Oh, that's what they call it, the lights
The
up.
wheels are starting to fall
Oh.
off now. The wheels are starting to fall off.
And right here, that's where,
Not getting along right now.
yeah, this temporary tag team was no more. Moose wasn't going to have it.
That's it.
Carl Anderson is going to take advantage. Callihan kicked out.
Sami showing some resilience. Why?
Oh, and
Now he goes right after
yep,
Moose.
Sammy returned fire.
Here comes Callihan, and he got planted, spine
Double A
busted
spine
by
busted by
Carl
the machine
Anderson.
gun
He's going to tag the Big LG. And
by
I
the
think,
MG Carl
pull out
Anderson.
your recipe book.
It is
And you know what this means,
for a magic
Buzz Killer.
And a 1, 2, 3.
Crack the beer, folks. Here are your winners, the Good Brothers. Moose and Sami Callihan lost that match. The Good Brothers definitely won, but Moose and Callihan lost. D'Lo, they couldn't get on the same page.
I wonder if that's part of the plan. What if that's all part of the scheme to get these two to fight each other right here? Look, Moose strong, Uranagi. And then you see the smooth step up cross body, the athleticism. And then it all starts to fall apart, leading to a match killer. Good night.
And that answered the question, of course, that Moose and Sami Callihan will definitely not work together. Because they both have their agenda, and that's to get to Kenny Omega and get back the Impact TNA Heavyweight Championship of the world away from Mr. Belt Collector himself. But of course, we know that Kenny Omega is a man who is extremely busy. He's got matches around the world. He's got to defend the Impact title against Moose. He's got the AEW World Championship in a three-way dance. He's got the AAA Mega title against Andrade. And yeah, and we haven't even seen Kenny Omega since last week in Impact Wrestling. Just a week ago, we haven't seen him this week, but he was on the show of AEW Dynamite just last night. And before we get to AEW Dynamite, of course, there is Friday Night SmackDown. And even though there was some good, decent action, the highlight of the night for us is definitely the one and only match that we always wanted to see. Never got it, but I think that should have been pay-per-view worthy, to be honest. Or, like SummerSlam or Survivor Series, WrestleMania, whatever you want to call it, because that only happens once. Obviously, the Usos, the Street Profits, a tag team match. Damn, man. That was something that I've been wanting to see for such a long time, and they gave it to us this past Friday night on SmackDown, Jade. It was a one-time thing. We don't know if we're going to see these guys get it on again, but damn it, I wanted the Usos to be back into play where they belong as one of the best tag teams that we've ever witnessed in the last decade. They were the best tag team in the past decade, as they were facing the Street Profits, the best tag teams that we have right now.
The only scenario and when it comes to the Usos is pretty much Jay is doing everything he can to convince Jimmy to join the fold, to acknowledge Roman as the champion, as the tribal chief. And so far, his best laid plans is coming up with some roadblocks in here and there. But pretty much as a question is, well, is pretty much Jay seeing the light, or is pretty much trying to stay resistant and do everything to ensure that Jimmy starts seeing things Roman's way and join the family fold.
And with that said, we're going to jump on right quick to some audio clips of what took place this past Friday on SmackDown. The Street Profits as they faced off Jimmy and Jay, the Usos.
Or trying to somehow make it back to a vertical base, create some sort of separation so he can get to his partner, but not that way. Miles Teller got punched in the face in Maui this morning. I don't think it was as hard as that shot, but look at Montez Ford come back. Ford fighting back now. Montez trying to break out of the corner and get to his partner Dog and somehow make a tag. Ford to land on his feet, deliver. Oh, and real big step up in Zaguri. Driving Uso out of the ring, and now the opportunity for Ford to make a tag. Jimmy Uso trying to prevent that tag from happening. Talking backflip into standing vert in Zaguri. Now Jimmy Uso getting into the action. Montez Ford lands on his feet. And now Ford, and he catches Jimmy with another step up in Zaguri. And now the opportunity to make a tag to Dawkins, who's fired up and ready to go. I don't think it's a step up. I think it was a standing and Jey Uso pulled Dawkins off the apron, not allowing the tag to happen. Ford really needed that tag because of that. Samoan chop. Cover. Wraps the arm and the leg, forcing Ford to kick out. You have to wonder what Jimmy Uso's conditioning is like. Yeah, stamina going to come into play. And on the apron, Jimmy Uso. Jimmy now with a kick to Dawkins. Jimmy finding his way back home up to the top. Dawkins does not allow that to happen. And Montez Ford.
Whoa. Oh, man. That was a really cool spot right there.
What the hell just happened? And now Dawkins, Jimmy able to counter. Uso with a super kick. Down goes Dawkins, crawling to the cover. Jimmy Uso
kick,
looking for a huge
a
upset
stick.
victory and a kick out there by Dawkins. Montez Ford from the heavens, and Jey Uso just saved his brother. Jey just dragged Jimmy Uso out of harm's way. Ford crashed and burned. Not the first time tonight. Jey and Jimmy have helped each other out like the old
Best matches I've ever seen. The Usos, the Street Profits. We finally got our answer. Who the heck is the better team at this point right now at this stage? I believe that the Street Profits actually put the fire into the Usos for them to actually raise their volume up and brought it to the former SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
I gotta admit, even though it's been months since we last seen Jimmy Uso competing, it was like these two brothers never missed a beat, despite the fact that there were a lot of things going on. And now, after what took place at the end of the show last night with the Dirty Dogs and the Mysterios retaining, now the Mysterios have the Usos right in front of them, challenging them for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, possibly at Hell in a Cell. But now the question means that once saying, I'm not saying if but when the Usos could this still, well, not saying knowing that they will have, and I forgot that they have a match next Friday, but nevertheless, it's like once that match takes place, and knowing that the Mysterios will retain, could this be a sign that Jimmy starts seeing things Jay's way that he's better off in the family fold, or they feel that this could be the one chance to get the tag belts? But I think that this is just the beginning between the Usos and the Mysterios, and possibly this is the little by little Jimmy will start seeing things Jay's way and eventually start acknowledging Roman and join the family fold.
Well, obviously, we got these two brothers that are in the conflict. One believing that, his cousin is pretty much doing all this stuff and it's all about himself. It was really nothing about the family. And we got the other brother who's been on his cousin's side, but that helped him elevate to a single superstar status that we never in our wildest dreams ever seen Jay step up the way he did, being on the side of Roman and having to fight, I guess you can say, his battles for him. But still, it's like you're bringing Jay into the light, of superstardom. And boy, did he elevated his game really quick while Jimmy was out nursing an injury. And now that Jimmy's back, he wants to get back on that saddle with his brother and be back as the Usos, one of the best decorated tag teams that we've ever seen in WWE's history. So, as the two obviously worked in sync this past Friday, and then obviously we're going to see that again because now they're going to face off for the first time ever, the father and son duo of the Mysterios, as they are holding the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And what a crazy defense, as we know that Ray was taken out. Here we thought it may be the Dirty Dogs that might have done the damage, but what if it was maybe the Usos? That we don't know. So maybe it was them. Maybe it was the Dirty Dogs. I guess we'll find out maybe next week. We don't know. But bottom line is there's going to be a title defense. When is that going to happen? We're going to stay tuned to that and see when is that going to take place. So, of course, those are the highlights of every single show that took place this week. As now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we are going to be covering the card and everything that's taken place, everything that took place just last night on a special edition of AEW Dynamite. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to review AEW Dynamite, the last show before AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view that'll take place tomorrow night on pay-per-view. They will be seen also on BR Live and internationally on Fight TV. And of course, we, the Wrestling Weekend Recap crew, we will be doing our special live reaction to AEW's Double or Nothing tomorrow night here on this platform feel free to join us because we are going to call it like we see it. Of course, the camera's going to be on us. We can't show the action. Otherwise, that's curtains for us, and we don't want that. But we will give you everything that we see on our big screen that you see behind us. If you can see the screen. Obviously, that's where we catch our action. And if you just noticed just now, of course, they got the live banner of AEW's Double or Nothing, as you can see on my upper right corner. Yes, that's where we were going to check out the action tomorrow night, as we will see it on pay-per-view through Sling TV. If you have Sling TV, be sure to order AEW's Double or Nothing, because that is going to be the best action that you will see in AEW's history this year for 2021, especially now that they're already getting their stuff together. They're already getting fans back into their playpen to see the AEW wrestlers back to do what they do best, because all they need now is the energy of the crowd to get their gears rolling. And let's get to it. So, 2 matches that we are going to talk about that, of course, we just now have knowledge of and can't get into much details, but it's already on the card. We will see the NWA Women's World Championship being defended as Serena will face the former AEW Women's World Champion Riho. We have seen them wrestle in the past. They have, I believe they have contended for the NWA Women's Championship, or I think that was just a singles match.
I think that was just a singles match.
But nonetheless, Serena and Riho, we witnessed them before, and my God, they got 2 of the best damn champions. One's a champion, the other one a former champion, but damn it, them 2 together, my God, it was awesome. Chemistry was awesome back and forth, and seeing them again for the second time now with the NWA Women's World title being defended is going to be something very special. Also, the Casino Battle Royal will take place tomorrow night. So many superstars that are already added to the card. Of course, one that we know about has been ixnayed because he is out on injury, and that is Rey Fenix. Unless the card is subject to change, maybe he is good and back in shape, and maybe we might see him tomorrow, although we don't know. Or unless if he's been replaced, that we don't know for sure. So let's get to it. Sting and Darby Allin, they will take on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Jade, what we witnessed this past Friday night on a special edition of AEW Dynamite, the blasphemy, the audacity of these 2 jerk-offs, and I'm talking about Sky and Paige, how them together can be so evilly nasty, but at the same time, they got this thirst, this desire to literally take out one of the greatest icons in the world of wrestling and a Hall of Famer, Sting, and with an uprising comer in Darby Allin, a former All Elite Wrestling Turner Network television champion. Now they want to make names for themselves. These 2 losers, these 2 egomaniacs, these 2 arrogant sons of. They want to make their names on Darby Allin and Sting, and they've been doing that already for quite a number of weeks, and now we're going to see the culmination of that coming up tomorrow night, Jade.
Well, it all started ever since Revolution when during that brass ring match for the TNT title, when it appeared that between Scorpio Sky and Kingston Page there was a mutual understanding, and even though one thing for sure that these 2 men, the one thing neither one of them liked is the fact that neither one of them is the center of attention nor the TNT champion, and that's one of the reasons why they made Darby Allin's life a living hell. But pretty much they pretty much opened the doorways to their own hell, and come tomorrow night in this tag match, pretty much the question is, will Sting and Darby carve another one up on the W list, oh well, God forbid, this collusion between Scorpio and Ethan Page will possibly get the victory.
We already witnessed Sting and Darby Allin having a match against Team Taz in that unforgettable match that took place just last year, and it was a cinematic match. It was an incredible match. To me, it was incredible, while others had mixed reviews and thoughts about it, whatever. But to us, it was something, sporadic in the moment, and it came out the way it did, but it was a great match nonetheless. But now with the crowd involved, this is the stuff that Sting needs to feel his energy and feel that atmosphere yet again, because this is only the beginning for Sting and Darby Allin to get all of that energy pumped into them so that they can bring out the best and deliver to Ethan Page and, of course, one Scorpio Sky. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will get into the clip of what took place this past Friday on AEW Dynamite. And, of course, it was Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They had a tag team match against Dark Order's Evil Uno and
Stu Grayson.
Big roundhouse kick, the jumping knee strike there from. Oh, look at this! Great tag team offense from Dark Order here. That's
Yes, I hear somebody is a Scorpion fan.
Dark Order looking to play one of the hits, the Cannonball 450 combo. Covering. Grayson with a chance. 2. Oh, man. What an upset that would have been ahead of Double or Nothing this Sunday on pay-per-view. Boy, what reserve from Ethan Page to get out of that?
Page and Scorpio Sky do not need to lose their momentum in the course of losing this match.
Ethan Page hooked up. They're looking for their tag team finishing move, that fatality, but Scorpio Sky just gouging the eyes of Evil Uno. Drop, and he switches into that heel hook. Oh, boy, got it on smoothly. Scorpio Sky with the heel hook on Stu Grayson. And now, all ego, Ethan Page, the ego's edge, just planting Uno. 1, 2, 3. Scorpio Sky and Ethan. It was a great matchup, guys. It really was.
It was a hell of a tag team match. Both these teams brought their A game. Great effort. But tonight, too much for Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page as they prepare for an epic showdown on Sunday night on paper.
Cut the music. Hey! Exactly what happened tonight will be happening this Sunday. Whether it's the heel hook or the ego's edge. Stingy Darby. Well,
I think business may just have picked up.
yeah, you knew this was going to go answer.
Oh, my.
Darby Allin.
What the hell? Was he a double?
Triple, quadruple.
That's happened before, but
Yeah. This Sunday, live on pay-per-view.
oh, string is there.
Darby Allin, there you go. Charging right at Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. First time in 6 years, Sting will be in the ring. Scorpio Sky sending all the stingers to the outside. A right hand delivered.
And that's the launch of the icon, the Stinger.
And Scorpio Sky making another hasty retreat. It will be Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page taking on the icon Sting and Darby Allin this Sunday.
Sting has returned again, and you can better believe he is not going to back down. He is going to give it everything coming up on Sunday in his first time back in the ring in 6 years in front of live fans. But at what price will it come? What price will it be? That's paid by Sting, the icon. After 6 years out of an official match.
It will be 6 years that Sting hasn't been inside of a wrestling ring, and let's refresh beyond the cinematic match that we witnessed being technically his first match in AEW, but the last time we seen Sting in the ring was with the WWE and Seth Rollins, where unfortunately Sting suffered that horrific injury that put him on the shelf, where he called his retirement once it was time for him to be a part of the WWE Hall of Fame. But now that years have passed, we're going to witness Sting getting back into the ring in a tag team match with Darby Allin as they take on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Jade, please tell me that having to witness a version of the Sting Army in AEW doesn't bring you flashbacks to the original Sting Army that we witnessed back in the old WCW Monday Nitro days.
It does. It does. It may not be the same feel, but it almost has the same look. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, get ready to get your asses kicked and handed to you by Darby Allin and the Icon Sting. That'll take place tomorrow night at AEW's Double or Nothing. Also, we will see on the card, Hangman Adam Page will take on Team Taz's FTW Heavyweight Champion of the World, Brian Cage. Now, of course, Cage has been on his act. He has been on his agenda, having to win matches and, not being part of anybody, not being affiliated with anybody, even though recently has been affiliated already for quite some time with the Dark Order. Not part of Team Taz, not part of the Hardy family office. Nobody. I mean, Adam is doing his own thing, but of course, Brian Cage recently has been conflicted with members of Team Taz, but still he's shown why he is a true player in that group, despite the differences that he has with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, but mainly Ricky Starks. But still, we're already seeing how Brian Cage may operate along with Team Taz when Hangman Adam Page knows that he doesn't need anybody to fight his battles.
Well, pretty much ever since they arrived on the scene at AEW, Team Taz all wants to do is make sure they get the spotlight on them and nothing but them. And pretty much it all falls on the shoulders of pretty much the man who's pretty much the foundation of Team Taz. That's the Machine. But we cannot in any way, shape, or form count the Hangman out. I mean, he's a very resilient guy. He gives it his all. He's got plenty of heart, and he will probably show it to one. And the first time that these two men collided, they probably went toe to toe, and they'll go through a lot more tomorrow night.
In real trouble here. There goes the hot dog.
And of course, this past Friday on AEW Dynamite, we see that Hangman Adam Page was taking on the bad boy, Joey Janela, and got his win over Joey Janela here.
Here is your winner, Hangman Adam Page. I'd like to introduce him to one of my friends. I'm sorry to take. I was going to say, what shape is Hangman going to be in come Sunday night after this intensely physical match with the bad boy, Joey Janela? Take another look at this. Hangman coming over the top with a buckshot lariat. Amazing strike. Not on target. Hangman! Page! Hangman! Adam Page! Over here, dude! Oh, yeah, hey! I'd like to introduce you to one of my good friends that is going to whoop your ass this Sunday. He is the Machine! Brian Cage! He wants to come out and say hello to you, buddy. I hope you need about 30 stitches in your head. That's the Machine right there. That's the Machine that's going to kick the living hell out of you. I promise you.
Hey, Taz, you go ahead and shut the hell up. I know what's going on here. Come on in here, Brian. Yeah, I know your plan. I see you do it every show for month after month. You start talking, you distract them. Here comes Ricky Starks. There they are. Here comes Hook.
Wait.
Yeah, just like I expected. Come on, Ricky.
Get on him, guys. Brian, get on him. Yeah, he's bleeding.
No. I expected that from Taz, but Brian, I expected more from you. Are you the kind of guy that needs these guys' help to whoop my ass? I thought you had more balls than that, but maybe they'd have shrunk all the way up by now.
Oh.
Ouch. Easy.
No, you look mad. You should look mad. Well, let me ask you this. Tonight, and at Double or Nothing, why don't you leave these assholes out of it and face me like a man?
Whoa.
Well, there you have that.
How about that, Taz? Oh, no. The only asshole is you, bitch. Like a man, huh? Oh, you think I needed their help last time? I didn't need their help last time. And I'm damn sure not going to need their help this Sunday. You want the machine one-on-one? You want the machine solo, huh? You gotta get it. Who's better than Cage? Nobody. Especially not Adam Page.
Locked in, baby. See you boys Sunday. Yeah, well, Page and Cage in a rage on Sunday on pay-per-view. It will be Hangman versus the Machine this Sunday night, live on pay-per-view, Double or Nothing.
That's the question. Are we going to see the Machine, Brian Cage, go at it alone with Hangman Adam Page? Bro, what Hangman is saying is that, yeah, we've seen them often every single time when Team Taz is on the take, when they're on an agenda, they all come out as one. But like I mentioned, there's been a lot of hiccups. There's been a lot of misunderstandings amongst the members of Team Taz in certain situations. But now that this is Brian Cage's time to show the world that he is a machine, that he don't need the help of Team Taz in order to get a win on Hangman Adam Page. Could this be a straight up one-on-one this Sunday at Double or Nothing?
That's one thing I get to see, and especially after that clinic that he had with the Bad Boy, the Hangman pretty much went through a lot of pain, and it's a miracle that Team Taz, especially the Machine, did not put him through enough torture, because he's saving that and a whole lot more in his match tomorrow night at Double or Nothing.
Hangman Adam Page will go one-on-one with Brian Cage of Team Taz tomorrow night at Double or Nothing. Now, we have already seen how the Nightmare family has gone from one big staple and exit from that group and only see a chunk of thirsty, selfish prancers that wants to be out in the ring making names for themselves when they feel that they have been belittled, that they have been humiliated, they've been on a losing streak, and really just are pretty much, I guess, underneath the sleeve or underneath the clip up of Cody, so to speak. And that's why the Factory, and of course you got its leader, very resented of the way that he has been shown for all these years being next to Cody, and how he should be deeming the spotlight along with the other guys of the Factory. And you got a very short list, unfortunately, of the guys that decided to break away from the Nightmare family. I'm talking about QT Marshall, talking about Nick Camarado, talking about Anthony Ogogo, and
Aaron
Solo. Yes. So these guys obviously have been making headlines since they split away from the Nightmare family. And yeah, it is a shame that we got to see Anthony Ogogo debut in AEW as a simple commentator when his strong suit should be being in that ring, not a one-hit wonder, but to really see what that man is all about. I guess from what we heard, he was a kickboxer. Here I thought he had the body of an MMA fighter, but all he is just a kickboxer. But what we've been seeing week in and week out, he's just a one-hit wonder. With one simple move, that's how he put out his opponents. But is that going to happen to one American Dream this Sunday? Not the Nightmare, but the Dream, Cody Rhodes. Is that going to be his destiny tomorrow night?
This is pretty much what that's all about, because we're not talking about Cody Rhodes, who likes to be arrogant, likes to be in the spotlight. We're talking about the man we're talking about the grandson of a plumber. He embodied the Rhodes spirit that was passed on to him from his late father, the original American Dream. We talk about night in and night out. Dusty Rhodes, he put out his heart, he put out his soul for the fans, and Cody's gonna channel that spirit for tomorrow night. He's gonna have to go pound for pound with the governor, as he calls himself, the native from the UK. And yes, Anthony Ogogo can be as tough as he can, but Cody's got the heart and the spirit of the good old US of A in him, and he will prove that tomorrow night.
And there is no doubt that we even question who would win this match. I mean, Cody is our man. Ever since they won for me when I first met the guy, it's like, ooh, we instantly clicked and all that. But obviously that's a story for another time. But still, nonetheless, the story here is the fact that Gogo came out and despicably said that, yeah, the American Dream, there was no such thing for him because everything that he got, obviously, he had to, having to, break sweat, break balls, and just pretty much get at it, really hard. And obviously it was a tough road for him, but he's already at a stage where he should be. Yeah, that may be the case, but obviously for Cody, it wasn't easy either. He literally had to work hard to make a name for himself in the sport that his family is all about, and that is professional wrestling. So the audio clip we're about to listen in here is that this past Friday, there was an official weigh-in, and of course, the man who was holding the official weigh-in was none other than AEW's commentator for Elevation on Monday nights is the big one, Paul White. Let's listen in.
Let's give the official weigh-in. Up first, let's have Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, weigh in, please. Woo! It's getting hot here. Cody, look impressive physical shape ahead of Double or Nothing coming up this Sunday on pay-per-view. Here's our official weigh-in. Let's see if we can get it here. There we go. Yeah, you're at that 200 mark, Cody. You're filled out.
To be honest, they should have practiced before the show on how to actually do a playing of the scale to make sure that they were dealing with the proper numbers.
Right.
Because even I can't figure out that type of scale, to be honest. I just prefer the actual Weight Watchers scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because, hey, at the end of the day, numbers are numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They stay facts, not lies.
All right, Cody Rhodes, American Dream. I'm going to call this at
218 pounds. The American Dream.
Baseball team. They're fun team to attend, the sport. AAA team of Arlington. All right, a go-go. Let's don't overcomplicate this thing. It's very volatile right now. I love how Dustin is ready in the back, man. He's just eyeing.
I guess they couldn't have brought in the crowd at a proper time than the last AEW before Double or Nothing. And then at Double or Nothing, we have a decent group of a crowd to be a part of that event.
Talk about Cody's keys to victory. Ogogo, who understands when he was doing media this week, announced that he had suffered a rib injury, but was not a broken rib. So we'll be. Ogogo's at
219 pounds.
Even matchup here.
Just 1 pound more from Cody.
For Double or Nothing, Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, 218 pounds.
Hold on a second.
happened here? Well, sorry, Paul, with all due respect. 219 to 218 for you idiots out there. Anthony is heavier. Anthony has the victory in his hands at Double or Nothing.
There's a lot of reasons why Anthony Gogo might win on Sunday.
How observative of him.
Let's hear it. Anthony Gogo, stay back.
If you're stupid enough to think that 1 pound's going to make a difference, I feel for you.
I keep thinking what you were saying, JR, on Sunday. Stay away from that punch, man. Wearing down. It's kind of like what Muhammad Ali did to George Foreman. Remember that?
Yeah, look at that. These cheers for Cody Rhodes are not rigged.
Wearing down is what you got to do. Stay away from the punching.
They're not recorded in audio to be displayed out on air.
Hold on. Why don't we give him a microphone? Try this. These people are smart. Come on. Right here for these guys. Right here. They're right here. Yup. Right here.
Well, how can you tell that they're smart? What, are they nerds? They're wearing glasses? They're wearing UK colors?
Destroy the vertical base of a striker.
Oh, they flip them off. Yeah, they're smart.
Dustin Rhodes just lunging at QT Marshall, his former tag team partner.
Well, he's had enough, as most of us have, of his antics.
Yeah, gather your socks up and leave.
Yeah, make like a banana and
A lot of
split.
confidence, God, really brazen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the weigh-in, Paul White, Big G, folks!
Yeah, G money, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
G
We'll
money.
see you at Double or Nothing. I love you very much. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Very charged atmosphere here tonight between the Nightmare family and the Factory. It'll be Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Anthony Gogo this Sunday night, live on pay-per-view. Double or Nothing. Order it now, pay-per-view, VR Live, or Fight TV.
You see how many members of the Nightmare family were out there cheering on for their teacher and mentor, Cody, and how many broke out of the Nightmare family because of their selfishness or because they feel that they were belittled and they never got any wins or got very few wins because others had more TV time than them. Come on. And I don't know what to expect out of this match. I mean, obviously, we would like to see Anthony Gogo do more than just a one-hit wonder type of feel. He's got to really bring it to Cody, and then he can save his finisher for last if he wants to annihilate the American Dream.
That was one of the most poignant scenes of all the show when we saw the Nightmare family in full force standing behind Cody. That's the embodiment of the American spirit. That's the embodiment of hard work. When you channel that spirit, you know, when you're born in the USA, you work your butt off like never before just to achieve something. And that's something that Anthony Gogo practically doesn't take. That Anthony Gogo takes for granted, and that's something that Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado and QT Marshall obviously are not valuing, and that's going to bite them real hard, and it's going to blow up in their faces tomorrow night.
Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, for one night only. He will take that title that was, of course, from his late, great Hall of Fame father, the original American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, as he will display why it is everyone's American dream to be what they want to be and where they're at this point in their lives. He will be facing one-on-one with Anthony Gogo tomorrow night at AEW's Double or Nothing. We move on towards the TNT champion, Miro. He will take on the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, with Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner. Jade, we have been following these two guys already for quite some time. Both of these athletes been wanting to pursue championships ever since they first arrived to AEW. Of course, we got to see the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, appear first at after his exit from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And here I was shocked to actually see Lance Archer into AEW to do his thing. And of course, then later on, he had Jake the Snake to be his mentor. And then, of course, we knew that Miro, previously Rusev in WWE, of course, he was, flopping, floundering, and we knew that he was going to be better elsewhere. And once he arrived to AEW, obviously he's proven that, but now his agenda is that he wanted to become a champion at all costs. Doesn't matter what title it is, who's he going to come after. He put the entire locker room on notice. And that is, whoever's got a title, I'm going to come for you, and I'm going to come for you hard. Doesn't matter who you are. And obviously, Miro was the man to accomplish that, even though it took him a little while to get there. Lance Archer hasn't completed that status yet, but he's been wanting to go after championships for maybe almost about a year, or already past a year. But still, Lance Archer hasn't got that job done yet. But now, knowing that Miro has no challenger, and he just defeated Darby Allin within a matter of 3-4 weeks ago for that TNT championship, now Lance Archer really has to focus in really deep in how to conquer Miro in order to become the TNT champion.
Pretty much that I'm going to say that we have to expect the clinic of a match for the TNT title, because these guys are built up, pound for pound, muscle for muscle. They're going to give it everything they are. And Miro will do everything it takes to ensure that the TNT title will still be around him. But no doubt about it, I think the Murder Hawk Monster will give the best man a run for his money.
And of course, we are running into this audio clip that took place this past Friday. Miro had a one-on-one match with Deontay Martin, one half of Top Flight, one of my favorite tag teams of all time ever since they started in AEW. But Deontay Martin has been on a roll as of late. I don't know why this match got booked, but obviously I feel that it was just a squash match for Miro to get a win and be ready for this Sunday.
Kid's not afraid. But return to Dante Martin. Big right elbow strike. Miro has got Dante strung up on the top rope. Bring it back. What a brainbuster that was by Miro.
But yeah, Dante Martin.
How much force behind that?
Oh, that thrust kick right
And
off
what's
the
his
jaw of
name?
Dante Martin.
Darius.
Yeah, Darius. I wish we could have him back, because I miss seeing Top Flight at their best. Both brothers, man. And, Dante's doing great as a single superstar, and they should book him for more matches. Doesn't matter if it's Dynamite or whatnot. But in this match here with Miro, obviously this was a squash match. It was just a matter of time until Miro got the win. And right here, look at that. He's now get him off.
That's enough. Come
Jeez.
on. The winner of this match. And
Get off of him. No. Hey, Miro. Oh, Miro. I got a message for you. Oh, don't worry. I got him focused, and he's ready for you. Sunday, we get that opportunity. You know that? Sunday, your fairy tale comes to an end. You see, you're in the ring, and you huff, and you puff, and you blow the house down. Yep, we don't play fairy tales, my man. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. Here, maybe I can speak your language. Translated, that means, why don't you just shut the F up? Because we've had enough. We have had enough. You come in here, you bully somebody, you think you're special. He's focused. He's ready. Put on my microphone. Put the microphone, because I need to tell this old fart to shut up.
Yeah.
You, and you always go to your boy back. Well, let's see what happens. Don't you want to see if this man lets loose for once? Come on, Lance. Come on, Lance. Are you always afraid? Shake him. Lance Archer, kick his ass. Here they go.
Now he lets him loose.
Miro going for a head larger. The big Bischoff. And the look of fear on Miro's face. Miro escapes in the referee court, trying to restrain these two behemoths. And it's a Tier 6 brawl here in the Sunshine State. Lance Archer and Miro will collide this Sunday night live on pay-per-view with the TNT Championships. It's going to be a slobber knocker on pay-per-view on Sunday with these two big bulls. Look it up. Can Lance Archer fulfill his destiny? Can he become TNT Champion?
A collision, a human demolition derby, a slobber knocker, whatever you want to call it. That is what it's going to be this match. Ladies and gentlemen, Miro will be defending his TNT title against the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. Can the Murder Hawk Monster finally succeed in his mission and become a champion? The TNT title will be on the line. Can he defeat Miro in order to obtain a championship?
That's pretty much the objective, that if the Murder Hawk Monster can make Miro's run short-lived and finally achieve gold. But Miro is not going to go down without a fight, no doubt about it.
That is one match that you definitely must see. I can't wait to see myself. Can it be done? Can Lance Archer succeed in becoming a champion this Sunday at AEW's Double or Nothing on pay-per-view, internationally on Fight TV, and of course, if you have BR Live, it will be available there as well. We move on to the next match. The AEW Tag Team Championships are on the line. Matt and Nick of the brashing, old school, antic selves of the Young Bucks. They will take on one of the most entertaining but yet popular tag teams that have been formed recently, the team of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. These two guys go way back for as long as they can remember, but to us, it is refreshing to see that these two guys who once have hatred for one another can love to hate each other, but in all honesty, they respect each other and they know where they've been at because, hey, they had history. History, it's pretty much where it's all led up to, and hey, they know each other like the back of their own hand, like the back of a matchbook, I guess. But bottom line is, Moxley and Kingston, they have a shot at Matt and Nick to get at the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
No doubt about it, because they may have had their differences, but one thing about Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston is that they have a mutual understanding. They have a mutual understanding against the Young Bucks, against Kenny Omega, against the Good Brothers, against Don Callis, and they're pretty much sick and tired of this whole this puppeteering, this riff-raff, these games, if you will, and pretty much the games will come to an end possibly tomorrow when they might take the tag titles away from the Young Bucks. But knowing how well that the Bucks will not go down and knowing how devious Don Callis can be, we might expect a couple of surprises tomorrow night.
Ever since that we can remember, we have witnessed the Young Bucks being in a conflictive situation ever since Kenny Omega made the turn and turned the wrestling world upside down with the assistance of one jackal of jackasses, Don Callis. And now these two guys pretend that they will own the wrestling world by acquiring heavyweight championships. And that's what Mr. Belt Collector Kenny Omega has been doing. But the fact that the Young Bucks were out on their own, doing their own stuff, being one of the best tag teams still to the date of now. And that after the culmination of events that took place, now we see the old school arrogance, the overcompensated, the over talented Young Bucks, shades of their Bullet Club selves coming into light again after so many years, and say that they know they got the tag team on fleek pretty much. But you have a team that hasn't been dominated yet and has been formed as of recent, and that is Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, because, like I said, these two have history. They go way back. They were friends. They were enemies. In other words, these guys were ex-lovers, former lovers, and now lovers. Doesn't matter. But bottom line is, they have been surprising the Young Bucks as of late in the last number of weeks. And they've been getting beatdowns as well. The last thing we can remember was that the Bucks were surprised by Kingston and Moxley taking away their expensive Nike shoes. And now they know what it's like to end up being bullied and having their expensive shoes taken away. We know that that's not how you would live it up in Rancho Cucamonga, do you? Or unless if you want to be a part of sequel to Friday and Next Friday, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, let's listen into the promo that Jon Moxley and Kingston, where they have their last words for the Young Bucks as their championship match comes to this Sunday at AEW's Double or Nothing. Let's listen in.
I don't care how much money they say. I don't know. I don't care. I don't even think they can pull these off. They're ugly anyway. Look, we've been having a lot of fun with Rod and Todd Flanders over the last couple weeks, but it's time to get serious. The Young Bucks are currently known as the best tag team in the world. And we're not even a real team. We're just a couple of schmucks just thrown together. That's what they think. What makes a great team? What makes a family? I trust this man with my life. When I was living in a motel in Philly, and Eddie kicks in the door and says, "Yo, we gotta go take care of a couple dudes in Manayunk." You know what I said? Who's driving? Oh man, you really bringing up that story. This man's back in war. And Double or Nothing, it's gonna be a war for the Tag Team Championships. I love belts. I love championships. Those are the most important Tag Team Champions in the world. I want those belts, Eddie. I need those belts, Eddie. No, man, you may be a better tag team than us. You may be a more well-oiled machine than us. But those belts are a couple of raw T-bone steaks, and we are a couple of pit bulls. What are you going to do when we clench our teeth and we got lockjaw and we're on your leg? What are you going to do then? We want those belts. I want those belts. They're going to quit. They're going to quit. You know why they're going to quit? Because they quit on the people. They quit on the boys in the back. Hey, by the way, boys in the back who are sitting there collecting your paychecks and not doing nothing as the Bucks and Kenny Omega and all them decide to go all corny. Y'all are sitting there all happy and nice. Me and Mox aren't. Because me and Mox speak for the underdogs. We are the ones that are going to get you. We are going to win those tag team championships. And then y'all going to sit there and quit. You won't be part of AEW no more. Maybe I'll be the VP. Imagine that. Maybe Mox will be an EVP. I don't want that. You sure? No. We will see you boys on Sunday. And trust me when I tell you this. The pressure's coming. The pressure's coming. But
Oh, I can't wait to see that match. Just seeing how these guys are hyping up in their promo of what they're going to do to Matt and Nick, the Young Bucks. I totally forgot that Mox called them Rod and Todd of the Flanders. Well, I guess they are a bunch of weenies, right? Well, even though they only act as weenies when Moxley and Kingston arrive from behind, and then they know that a beatdown's coming to them, and then they're acting like punk ass pussies, I guess.
It will be a thorn in the side on Don Callis finding out that Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston could be the new AEW Tag Champions.
Imagine when they get defeated and their belts get taken away by Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. They only have a short window of opening for one last request, and I can imagine what's going to be. And make Lisa tell us a bedtime story about two robots named Rod and Todd. I can't even do the voice no more. I mean, I'm already getting old, but nonetheless, I mean, since they pulled it off, I tried to pull off the voice, but it didn't work no more. But nonetheless, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, the Young Bucks, they will defend at all costs and hold on to the AEW World Tag Team Championships tomorrow night against the duo of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. This is one match that if you want to see for one time only, there's one match that you should be interested in. If nothing else interests you, this should be the match to watch because I know this is going to be one hell of an ass-kicking session that can go on the sporadic for more than just one night, but it'll only last until it lasts, and we'll see, who is going to last the longest in this one. And it will happen, yes, tomorrow night on pay-per-view. We move on to the next match. Hikaru Shida will defend her AEW Women's World Championship title against the number one contender, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who I still say she needs a dental assistant. Nonetheless, we've seen already for months and months, we see Dr. Britt Baker try to state her claim, state her case, how she should be the face of the women's division, blah, 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 and how she should be the one running it, how she should be the AEW Women's World Champion. All she does is cheat. She technically cheats, and on top of that, with Rebel, not Reba, thank you, formerly a makeup artist for the Mortal Kombat remake that never got official HD version. Real cute, by the way. Still does. She pulls all these tactics. She pulls all these cheating ways. I don't remember one decent match that actually got her a legitimate win as of late. But one way or another, she raised up the ranks, and now she's got a number one contendership shot, and she will have a chance to go against a hardworking, a defendant, an athletic fighting champion in Hikaru Shida.
Who would have thought that it was about 1 year ago during sordid times when she stepped up and faced Nyla Rose to become the AEW champion. Hikaru Shida has been pretty much been fighting her heart out just for all the AEW fans worldwide. All the comers that pretty much went up to her, from the likes of Thunder Rosa and Big Swole, Serena Deep, and the list goes on, and she still managed to retain the AEW women's title. But pretty much nevertheless is that ever since coming to the scene of the AEW in the women's division, Dr. Britt Baker feels that she feels slighted. She says, I should be the top face of the women's division. She has a chance tomorrow night. The question in everybody's mind is, will Hikaru Shida's reign continue possibly for another couple of months, or will the doctor possibly put a kinker sword in Hikaru Shida to become the new AEW women's champion?
But one thing is for sure, she has no respect for the current AEW Women's World Champion, and we see, and well, when we hear the proof of what took place this past Friday night when AEW held an appreciation night for Dr. Britt Baker and everything that she has been through as far as championship matches, title defenses, singles matches. Hikaru Shida, to me, is a constant professional, a constant fighter. She never stops. She never gives up. She gives it her all. And of course, with fans already back in attendance at the Daily's Place, they show love, appreciation, and respect to the current AEW Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida. Let's listen in.
In honor of the longest reigning AEW champion, we are presenting tonight in front of everybody here, in front of millions of households, a brand new title belt to Hikaru Shida, gold encrusted in diamonds. Shida, you have earned this, and let's put it on her right now. What do you say? Well, she wanted my leg ribs perfect then. Great honor here for Hikaru Shida, receiving the new AEW Women's World Championship belt. Yeah, she did. So deserving, always a smile on her face, represents the company like the pro that she is.
Well, from what it looks like, that was another belt that actually wasn't completed. And now she's got a new belt that looks completed. Pretty much what they did with the TNT Championship. That one wasn't completed, but later on they had it completed. I guess because of the pandemic and stuff.
Shida,
Yeah.
congratulations. You have earned every accolade, and the fans are here. I know you got the world title match coming up on Sunday. This is a big moment for you and a big moment for all of AEW.
When I won this title, there was no fans in here. But tonight, you are here! I'm so proud to share this moment with you because this title is for you! And you! And you!
Well, I can't say as I'm surprised. The woman that will challenge Hikaru Shida this Sunday night on pay-per-view, Dr. Britt Baker, the top-ranked contender in the women's world division.
Now, I didn't think you'd actually invite me to this, but relax, I come in peace. Reba's not here. I just came to say congratulations. Shida, I hope you know that you were champion during the most difficult time in all of professional wrestling. And no one can ever take that away from you. This was your year. But I have something I need to address. Because I have to admit that I misspoke when I sat down with Jim Ross 2 weeks ago. I said something I want to take back. Because I said I'm the face of the women's division. But when I win that title, that new title at Double or Nothing on Sunday, I'll be the face of a whole new era. And much like an era before me was all about 316, this era is all about DMD.
Now, I'll give hats off to Dr. Britt Baker for coming up with a really good punchline at the end of her whole promo. Now the question is, will it be the era of DMD once she does accomplish in defeating the current AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida?
That's what she's trying to aim for. That is the question. Can she get it done? Who knows?
But before we move on, there is something that I gotta speak about because this just been brought to our attention just early this morning. Of course, during this segment of Hikaru Shida's Appreciation Night, it turns out that the Spanish commentators, in the form of Willie Urbina, the Dasha Curet, and who else?
Alex Abrantes.
And Alex Abrantes. It turns out that they made a mockery of Hikaru Shida's accent. And the three dum-dums, well, the three dumbasses, they had no idea that their mics were even on, or maybe they were, and they just went along with it anyway. ¿Qué chingados les pasan? Like, seriously. You have an open mic, and you think what you just said ain't going to have actions, o sea, no va a haber consecuencias? Let me tell you something. You guys are idiots. You made us look bad. I mean, and I'm talking about Hispanics. It took an Hispanic to realize that you guys crossed the line. Like, seriously. How would you feel if the tables have been turned and it's your three sap asses getting mocked of your accent? How do you think it'll make you feel? I know I'll feel like shit if it happened to me because I'm Hispanic too. I am damn ashamed of what took place. Like, damn ashamed. I respect Hikaru Shida. You know, her English, you know, it may not be all that great, but I understand her. But you guys being supposed to be professionals and you act a certain way, or maybe it was just a part of the line and you guys are, I don't know. But bottom line is, obviously, one viewer who was watching Spanish commentary took an offense, and I can't say I don't blame the guy. I don't blame the fan at all. But I had to point it out there because I just find it horrendous, to be honest. I really find it horrendous, and especially in a time of now when we're just barely seeing how the world is operating after riots, misunderstandings, shootings, killings, and all of this stuff. And yet we wonder how all of this gets triggered. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I know I had to get that off my back. Whether you folks want to agree with me or not, that is up to you. I don't expect any agreements, but I just had to say what I had to say because what I heard and saw was just, the keyword has always been said ever since it was released. It was unacceptable, and it is. But nonetheless, we expect one hell of a women's match this Sunday, tomorrow night at AEW's Double or Nothing. Hikaru Shida will defend her AEW Women's World Championship against the number one contender, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Will it be her era tomorrow night? And as we move on, we have two more matches to cover. The three-way dance for the AEW World Championship. Mr. Belt Collector, Kenny Omega, will defend that championship against two number one contenders, the Bastard Pac and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Jade, of course, we've talked about Mr. Belt Collector already for months and months. And yes, he has been the main target of three companies already so far. And he thinks he can weasel himself out of matches or not defending championships, or at least defending his championships with weak earthlings that he deems that obviously it'll be an easy walk in the park for him. And that's not going to be the case, especially for tomorrow night, Sunday.
I said it week in and week out. Who wants to beat Kenny Omega right now at this moment? And especially tomorrow, since he have his game face on, when he has to defend the AEW title on a three-way dance against the Bastard and freshly squeezed. Now, I'm going to make a quick tidbit. After what happened last Thursday on Impact with Sami Callihan and Moose, it's like pretty much known for well that there's going to be fans attending Double or Nothing tomorrow. And I'm going to say this. I'll be damned if either one or both Moose and Sami Callihan bought their tickets and eventually show up at Double or Nothing tomorrow just to get under Kenny's skin.
Well, I don't know if that'll actually happen, but only wrestling fans can dream, can we, of such things that could happen. I mean, they may happen, they may not happen. It all depends. But nonetheless, who will have the upper hand tomorrow night as far as contenders are concerned? Will it be the freshly squeezed one, or will it be the Bastard? Nonetheless, the Bastard started out coming in the ring, speaking his final thoughts of what could take place this Sunday at AEW's Double or Nothing, when the title will be on the line in a three-way dance. Let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please accept my sincerest apology. Clearly, you were expecting somebody else. Well, I'm here to tell each and every one of you that this Sunday, Orange Cassidy is irrelevant.
Only say
In
that.
fact, the only individual of any relevance in AEW Double or Nothing is the man who's going to beat Kenny Omega and become the new AEW World Champion. Me! The Bastard! So Kenny. Is this really your prestigious title reign that you're all so proud of? where you're ducking and you're dodging and you're manipulating. To be frank, Kenny, it's pathetic. So why don't you make amends right now? Why don't you get out here and stand face to face? And we can show the whole world exactly what's going to happen this Sunday at Double or Nothing. So where are you, Kenny? Huh? Where are you?
You actually think that I would get anywhere near you when I said I wanted to have a little confrontation with you? Jake, I would be in the same ring, much less even in the same building. Well, I'm not. But I'm here to tell you, you are a dangerous person. Kenny Omega and I are not very happy. You are a violent, aggressive, soulless sociopath, and we want nothing to do with you. So I'm not going to come out there. But, oh, look at this, Kenny Omega. Omega trying a cheap shot, but Pac was ready for it with explosive offense. A man that could be the next AEW World Champion. And oh, look at this, the Good Brothers. Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows. The reinforcements for Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion. The AEW World Champion's always got a plan. That's why many consider him the best in the world. And the other two members of Death Triangle, Ray Fenix and Pentel Sarmiento, evening the odds here. And those other gentlemen are running like scalded dogs, leaving their champion behind in the ring. Kenny Omega and Pac. Oh! You saw that foot come right in there. Omega coming in for the one-winged angel. But before he has that opportunity, it's Orange Cassidy. Will Cassidy defer the title shot on Sunday?
And that's the question too. Will Cassidy regress and not go through with three-way dance? But we already know what the answer was. He already displayed it just a week prior to such questions. And he will reiterate it in the champ space. Here's his right hand high.
He's got that document provided by Don Callis.
It's for Kenny.
He's got
Says for
a note for Kenny. Yes.
I can't even do the Asian girl movie.
Could it be that contract that Callis and Kenny offered him last week?
Fans are chanting freshly squeezed. Oh, Kenny's got a paper cut.
That's bad.
Yeah. Not just one paper cut.
The
It's
contract
shredded.
offered by Omega and Callis is shredded. And I think we've got Orange Cassidy's answer.
Oh, I know we got his answer.
And the orange punch!
The orange punch. Call it the fruit
Jumping
punch.
right-handed punch. Could we be looking at the next AEW World Champion, Orange Cassidy?
You darn right we.
Whoa. One of these three men will leave this arena on Sunday night on pay-per-view as the AEW World Champion. That I know. Pac brings up Cassidy. Cassidy avoids contact. Orange punch to the master.
There it is. That showed you can do it. He can win the world title Sunday night.
Man, it's like a three-point shooter that doesn't miss.
That's right.
He thinks he's Steph Curry with a dangerous right hand. Sunday night live on pay-per-view. The AEW World Championship will be on the line in a three-way match. Kenny Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
That one's going to be interesting to watch. Simply because you got already two elements that are familiar with each other ever since last year's AEW Revolution. Orange Cassidy, Pac. That was a great match that we witnessed live at the time. The very last event before the pandemic. You know, we're seeing them on TV this time. And the third man on this wheel is Mr. Belt Collector Kenny Omega. So who out of these two contenders will be the one to defeat Kenny Omega? Or will Mr. Belt Collector stay in his position having to defeat these new uprising stars in AEW?
Who knows? The possibilities are possibly there. And yes, I mean, it was months ago since Kenny defeated Jon Moxley for the AEW title. And yes, it has been over a year since the issue manifested between the Death Triangle along with Freshly Squeezed and the Best Friends. And now it comes to this stage in this three-way dance for the AEW title, because the Bastard, Freshly Squeezed, they want to taste AEW gold. But knowing Kenny Omega, he'll do everything it takes to make sure that he's still at the top of the ladder.
Nonetheless, it's going to be one hell of a three-way dance tomorrow night. It is the match of matches, the biggest one that Kenny Omega has to face in his career. He will defend the AEW World Championship against the Bastard Pac and Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. Whose will it be for the take tomorrow night? It is going to be an explosive three-way dance of three different personalities. It is going to be electric, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we will cover the final match, and it is the biggest one ever. I believe this will be the main event. The Stadium Stampede involving the Pinnacle against the Inner Circle. MJF leading the fort of the Pinnacle involving FTR. The manager of managers at this point, Hall of Famer Tully Blanchard, and his man, it is
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
No, Sean Spears.
Oh, Sean Spears. Well, yes.
But
Sean
yeah,
Spears.
MJF is holding the fort. With him will be FTR, Sean Spears,
and Wardlow.
And Wardlow. Yes, but the one and only Mr. Hall of Famer, the manager of managers at this point, Mr. Tully Blanchard, will be on their side. They will take on Inner Circle led by Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz. Also, the Spanish God Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. Jade, how all this got started was obviously we've seen the debut of the Inner Circle just about 2 years ago when AEW Dynamite was first launched. Jericho saw something in these four guys. I'm talking about Santana, Ortiz, Guevara, Hager. They became a pack that you do not want to mess with. They led their destructive path in AEW. They became the group of groups in that wrestling company until the involvement of MJF wanting to be a part of the Inner Circle, only to having to be deluded by the fact that MJF was already having something in the works, and that is his own group. That is the Pinnacle. And they have been through some horrific matches. They've been through some of the greatest promos of all time as gangs, as I believe, as gangs in professional wrestling were colliding at this stage and age. And now it's going to come to Stadium Stampede, where this is going to be Inner Circle's second consecutive involvement. But the stipulation is now, if the Inner Circle loses, they must disband. And that means that Inner Circle will only be forever from that point on, they will be ancient history.
That piece of garbage, that piece of scum, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. And I gotta say this: how low can they go? How low can the Pinnacle go? I'm gonna say this. I gotta say this. Last Friday, we were about to see. Sorry. Last Friday, we were witnessing something special 1 year of the Inner Circle. How low can they go? Ace Man, how low can these maggots go? Just play the replay. My God. But before you do, tomorrow night, Stadium Stampede, one group will break. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the Pinnacle, but God, the Inner Circle, my God. I mean, even though they like the guys, I grew up liking them. But please, just play. Let's play for each. Oh, these maggots! I swear.
Of the Inner Circle or the Pinnacle?
The Pinnacle or
the Pineapple.
What's the difference? They're a bunch of low-down pieces of scum.
Nonetheless, this past Friday night, we had the man that we all love and respect and who I'm a huge fan of, and that's none other than the Hall of Famer of Class of 2021, Eric Bischoff, was there to present the special of the Inner Circle. But the question is here until tomorrow night. Is this the last time that we will see the Inner Circle together?
It feels so good to be surrounded by fans again. And listen, it feels good to be here with Eric Bischoff, another one of the guys that we called to make amends with when we had a change of heart. Eric, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for me during my career in WCW. And I want to thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you very much, Rich. And I couldn't think of a better way to thank Chris Jericho than to show all of you this sweet little package we put together. Greatest hits. Let's take a look.
We the people sucks and it's dead buried. It was a stupid idea from bad creative and all that's gone. We are the Inner Circle. And we're taking control of AEW. No matter who thinks they're in charge around here, we're in charge now.
Well, Champion has surrounded himself with winners, I can tell you that. With the spike in his hand.
Oh my God! Yeah, look at that!
The Inner Circle on such a roll here in AEW. You know, when they work together as a team, I don't know anyone who can beat them. Look at Sharp will see us and he locked and loaded. The chemistry's definitely there, in my opinion.
My God, all hell is breaking loose! Jericho and Tyson bury the hatchet! These are my closest confidants. These are my friends. This is my Inner Circle. Whoa! Wow. We've done some pretty cool shit, huh, boys? But do y'all remember October 2nd, 2019? The night that everything changed for all of us. The night that we created magic. And 18 months later, we're here standing stronger than ever, huh? And alongside that entire locker room, we took this company and put it on our backs and carried it through a damn pandemic. And here we are, standing with the return of the best fans in wrestling today. If this is our last time together, if this truly is our last dance, I wouldn't have it any other way than with my brothers and in front of all of you. Yo, that was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. I've always been a believer it's about the journey, not the destination. So if this is the end of the Inner Circle, seeing video highlights of the good times is not what I want. Show me the hard times. Show me the times we've been beaten, bloodied, left with no choice. Show me the times each one of these men have left a part of their soul behind. Show me the hard times that make hard men. Those are the moments to be celebrated.
I mean, what else is there to say, man? We have been through everything together. Hell, I mean, when I came into AEW, I was wearing a freaking panda head. And now I am in the greatest faction in all of pro wrestling. Until I wasn't. When I quit the Inner Circle and I didn't have you four guys backing me up, having my back, let me tell you, I didn't like that at all. And I'm going to do everything in my power this Sunday to make sure that never happens again. But if it does, and this is the end, thank you guys for everything.
It was a very touching speech that that each and every single member of the Inner Circle has mentioned out live with everyone that's there. Obviously, the footage that they don't have that took place this past Friday was obviously the Pinnacle. MJF lured the rest of the Inner Circle out into the football field where they are going to have, where that'll pretty much be their battleground, just like how it was last year for Stadium Stampede. And unfortunately, each and every single member of the Inner Circle suffered. They gotta suffer some sort of injury. What? We don't know. We seen them get taken out onto. We have seen them taken out on tables and chairs being spiked, pile drived. Each and every single member. So, is this going to be the advantage for the Pinnacle? Or somehow, some way, the Inner Circle is going to suck all of that pain up, get back in the fight, and destroy the Pinnacle once and for all. Stadium Stampede is going to be another one in the history books. This one is going to be one of the unforgettable matches for 2021 coming up this Sunday at Double or Nothing.
I gotta say, what happened last night was the most sickening, the most indignant from these vile, inbred jackasses. Because before they put the ambush on the Inner Circle, they just left poor Dean Malenko practically beat him to a pulp right at the end zone inside TIA Bank Field. I mean, how low can these morons go? How long can these pieces of garbage go? Especially Maxwell Jacob Freeman for the family that pretty much, well, the family is his real family. Not talking about the Pinnacle, but his real family. It's like they should have done. They should have much better giving this little punk the ass whooping he needed.
Big time, man. Is MJF going to get everything that he so fully deserves? Obviously, at Blood and Guts wasn't enough. And now we're going to witness that tomorrow night at Double or Nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we close the show, we are going to give you the rundown one more time of the card that you can expect to see tomorrow night on pay-per-view, international-wise on Fight TV. And if you have B&R Live, check out AEW's Double or Nothing wrestling event. You will see for the NWA Women's title, Serena will defend her championship against the former AEW Women's World Champion Riho. Plus, the Casino Battle Royal will take place. And will there be a special stipulation in that match? Will there be some sort of a title shot or something in that match?
I don't really know.
I guess we don't know. We'll find out and see if there's something special in that. Casino Battle Royale. Obviously, it's a tradition for Double or Nothing nonetheless. Also, the return of the Icon Sting in a wrestling ring after 6 years. He will pair up once again with Darby Allin. They will face Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Also, we will see Hangman Adam Page go one-on-one with Brian Cage of Team Taz. The question is, will it be a straight-up one-on-one, or will we see Team Taz in the corner of the Machine, Brian Cage? The American Dream for one night only, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes will take on Anthony Ogogo of The Factory. Miro will be defending his TNT title against the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer. Can Lance Archer finally become a champion after so many months of having to pursue a title match and a title of sorts in AEW? The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick, will be defending their AEW tag team titles against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Hikaru Shida will put her AEW Women's World Championship on the line against the number one contender, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Will this be her era as she defeats one of the longest reigning and fighting champions in the women's division of AEW? The three-way dance for the AEW World title. The Mr. Belt Collector, Kenny Omega, will face the Bastard Pac and Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. That one is going to be interesting. A match for all times. And finally, the main event will be Stadium Stampede. These guys will be fighting in the football field. They will use weapons. They will annihilate each other as is. The Inner Circle, Jericho, Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Guevara, they will take on members of the Pinnacle, MJF, Cash Wheeler, Dax Hardwood. Dax Hardwood. I don't know why that gave me a brain freeze. Sean Spears and Wardlow with Hall of Famer manager on their side, none other than Tully Blanchard. This is going to be one heck of a pay-per-view. It's going to be one heck of a pay-per-view, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, AEW Double or Nothing tomorrow night. One more time, it will be available on pay-per-view, BR Live, and internationally on Fight TV. And of course, we will do an exclusive live reaction towards AEW Double or Nothing tomorrow night on this platform, on the Ace1 Armageddon channel. Feel free to join us. We are going to call it like we see it. We will give you our original reaction, non-scripted, unfiltered. Everything will be demonstrated as is from our take. Of course, you will see it on that screen that you see up on the upper right there. But we're not going to be able to display it because everything is going to be on us. You can only see and hear what we see on that screen tomorrow night. Like I said, feel free to join us on the Ace1 Armageddon channel for the live reaction of AEW's Double or Nothing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's already going to be 2 in the morning very, very soon. And we got to hit the hay so that we can gather everything and set up sweetly for that live cast of the live reaction. So until then, for the one and only Jade, I am Ace Von X. Thank you for joining us on another live edition of the Wrestling Weekend Recap. We will see you tomorrow night for the live reaction of AEW's Double or Nothing, and hopefully you can join us next Saturday for another live episode of the Wrestling Weekend Recap. Have a good night, everybody. Peace and love worldwide. See you then.
And most importantly, have a safe and sane Memorial Day this Monday.